good news for the Marvels, I guess. There's actually a movie performing worse than it right now. And who other could outperform Brie Larson in a colossal failure of a movie than Rachel Zegler? Just two of the most insufferable actresses right now in Hollywood. And I hate to throw shade on people. I hate to. But come on. Come on. Let's not pretend like they haven't been entitled and insufferable in their interviews to the fans, to the source materials. Okay. Rachel Zegler's The Hunger Games performs worse than Brie Larson's The Marvels at Thursday night previews. And by the way, guys, if you're watching this at the day that I release it and you're waiting for that Bible time video, since I upload every single day, I made the grave mistake of recording a video without double checking things after a Windows update that always messes up audio every time. I don't know why they don't fix this stuff. So I'm telling you, I recorded an entire Bible time video with no audio. And I'm about to go on Friday Night Tights, so I'm going to have to record that again after. So if the video's late today, bear with me. It will be late today. It will. I don't have time to film that, but I have time to film this. So I will film it today, though. It's going to happen. All right. So if you don't know what that is, guys, I read the Bible every single day. Bible time with Melanie Mack. Come join me there. Listen to the entire Bible because we're getting through the whole Bible. Whether you are a Christian or not, I encourage you to join me. All right. Now let's go ahead and talk about this. A worse failure than the Marvels. There's no way. Already it seemed like what can do worse than the Flash? Then the Marvels comes around. Well, what can do worse than the Marvels? Rachel Zegler's The Hunger Games. All right, Rachel Zegler's The Hunger Games. This comes to us from Bounding Into Comics. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes had a lower take at the box office in its Thursday night previews compared to Brie Larson's The Marvels. Ouch. Now, I'm sure the budget wasn't as expensive, but still, with this kind of movie, you know it had a big budget. But I mean, the Marvel's budget's just stupid. All right, so Variety reports that Zegler's The Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes only grossed $5.75 million in previews on Thursday night. That's nearly $1 million less than what Brie Larson and the Marvels did. And considering the amount here being under $6 million, that $1 million difference is substantial. That film grossed $6.6 million at Thursday night previews just a week ago. Interestingly, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, was projected to have a better opening weekend than the Marvels. Box Office Pro adjusted their projections upward this week, claiming the film would gross between $42 million and $55 million, and specifically predicting it would bring in $47.1 million at the domestic box office. In contrast, the outlet had adjusted their projections for the Marvels down to between $35 million and $49 million right before the film arrived in theaters. The film would eventually bring in $46.1 million in its opening weekend. Given these Thursday night preview numbers, it's quite likely that the Marvels might actually outperform Zegler's The Hunger Games instead of the other way around. Both films have identical tomato meter scores at 62%. They both also have similar meta scores from critics. The Marvels has a 50, while The Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes has a 52. Riveting. Amazing. Bravo. Here's the thing, though, is I mean, there's multiple reasons why I don't see this doing well. I mean, one of them being The Hunger Games without Jennifer Lawrence, you know, the first woman to exist and the first female action star. Ha 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 ha. No, anyway, for real though, without her, I don't see as much of a draw. Now, I know she's not necessarily like, you know, the Angelina Jolie type star power, right? But I still think that when it comes to the Hunger Games, I mean, she is just the face of the Hunger Games. So it's hard to really get on board with somebody else walking in here. And then the way that this was marketed as well, they really tried that same similar angle of like, oh, basically the first woman. Look at this. What a pioneer. What a revolutionary thing she's doing, when there's nothing revolutionary about it. I mean, we've had female leads in movies for a very long time, including the action genre. Another one is that this seems to have taken a more different turn. Now, obviously, they're following source material in the books. They're doing just that, but it's just like, hey, what was the really the big pull with the Hunger Games movies? Now, I only watched the first one, but for me, the big pull was like, oh, let's watch them fight. Like, I want to see this battle and this intense situation, right? And here it's just like being sidelined kind of by a love story. And not to knock love stories. I like love stories, even when they can be integrated in other things. I think love stories can be very wholesome if done properly. But when you're really looking at the kind of audience who likes to watch Hunger Games and who wants to see a big focus on action, I can see how this would pull a lot of people away, especially from who typically watch action movies, now taking aside people who are already existing fans of, in this case, the Hunger Games, because I'm sure the Hunger Games has a big female fan base, I imagine, especially among the teenage crowd. But who typically carries sales for action movies? That's men, right? And so I don't see this story and what we're seeing of it. I just don't see it appealing to as many men. And with this Hunger Games being a more action-centric movies that it has been, I don't know. I just don't think it quite is landing. Not only that, but let's just address the situation of Rachel Zegler and how people just don't like her. They don't. And again, I don't want to just knock someone, especially when they're down, but let's be real. Rachel Zegler's media time lately has left terrible impressions on people across the board. Even a lot of people who are typically pretty insufferable and very woke and this and that, even for a lot of them, they are put off by Rachel Zegler simply because of her utter and blatant disrespect to Snow White, the classic Snow White movie, right? And I mean, the classic Snow White movie has a lot of fans. There's a reason why they're making a live action adaptation of it this long after it released, right? There is a huge amount of people who appreciate the source material even to this day. It's a timeless classic that will far outlive any new live action thing they could ever dream of. And so for her to be that disrespectful, that arrogant, that entitled, to just say, we fixed this trash. We fixed it for modern times because it's weird, right? People did not like her, and they're not going to want to watch something with her in it, especially that shortly after she made those kind of statements. It is what it is. Look at what Brie Larson, like a lot of people just do not like Brie Larson because of how she has conducted herself in interviews, and that does make a difference. And that goes so far beyond someone just being woke. There are some woke actors who are likable or that still manage to carry a fan base. Angelina Jolie, she's about as woke as you can get. But people love her. She does a great job on screen, and she doesn't act like a complete idiot in interviews. Look at someone like Jason Momoa, pretty dadgum woke, am I right? But people love him. I think Jason Momoa is great. He's just a very likable person. Just seems super nice in his interviews and stuff. He gives off a different vibe than what we see from like your Brie Larsons, your Rachel Zeglers, and so on and so forth. So even Scarlett Johansson, right? I can name person after person. There are people who or Gal Gadot especially. That woman handles herself with class, with grace, with humility. In interviews and stuff, she just seems so warm, right? That's even aside from that pandemic musical video. Let's pretend that didn't happen. But with actual interviews and stuff, she's just likable. And so someone's charisma is going to play a huge role. And so just people do not like arrogant, entitled people for the most part. It's insufferable. It's off-putting. And so when somebody acts in that way, they're not going to want to see their movies. I don't want to see anything she's in entirely because of not only how she acted and treated Gina Carano, but also with how she has just conducted herself in these interviews. And, you just want to say it. You reap what you sow. They're trying to set this girl up to be the next it girl. They have put her in some huge things right now. And let's say if she were actually a likable person, if she didn't conduct herself in the way that she did, if she didn't treat people like Gina Carano in the way that she did, then perhaps she would be the next big it girl and everybody would be talking about her. Everybody would adore her. But that's not the case right now. And obviously on her own social media, she's going to have XYZ amount of followers and all this and all that, which of course, as we know, easily inflated with bots and so on and so forth when you're speaking on like Instagram and things of that matter. So yeah. So is this her reaping what she's sowing? I absolutely think so. She's got this failure of a movie, Snow White. People are not wanting to watch it. They're delaying the movie a whole other year, and that's after, hasn't it already been delayed before? They're making a bunch of changes, and it's just the entitled attitudes, the viciousness toward other people, in this case, how she treated Gina Carano, so on and so forth. It's not a good look. And so because of that, quite plain and simple, you can't sell movie tickets. You will not be the next big it actor. And I don't see Rachel Zegler becoming that it girl that they have tried to position her to be. She will not be the next Angelina Jolie. And the difference is Angelina Jolie, again, regardless what you think about her and her like politics, but she does have a charisma to her and she does sell tickets, sometimes with some pretty lame movies even. I mean, I don't even think she was enough to save the Eternals, but I digress. She still is able to move tickets. Like, I am still an Angelina Jolie fan, even though I disagree with her politics and a number of things. But she has a presence on screen. She has a presence on screen, and she does conduct herself in a classy way in interviews and so on and so forth. You don't see that entitled weird from her, right? So that makes a huge difference. So anyway, there you have it for this video. If you are watching like right when I released it, I'm about to go on Friday Night Tights right now, so I hope to see you all there. I'm really excited. It's been a couple months or so since I've been on last, or more like 4 months or something, if not a little longer. So it's going to be a fun time. And again, my Bible time video will be uploaded later today. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Also, if you want to catch my streams, which I'm trying to bring those back to at least once or twice a week, I have another YouTube channel, just Melanie Mac. Or if you just type in the search bar, Melanie Mac Gaming Streams. I have been streaming Lies of P. That is my game of the year. Game of the year. Now, obviously, I still have a lot more to play, but just saying, phenomenal, fantastic, incredible, like just chef's kiss. I'm flawless from what I've played so far. I have no complaints about this game right now. So anyway, there you have it for today's video. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Don't forget to read your Bible today, or you can listen to me read the Bible to you on my Bible channel. Bible Time with Melanie Mac. Thanks again. I will catch you all next time. And in the meantime, go boom.